Let's open the Android website to see what are the Android 16 changes. I'm going to take a look a bit more in detail about one of the Android 16 features, which is my favorite, and it's called live notifications. Not only I will tell you how this feature works, but I will also implement it step by step in code. I opened developer.google.com. The first part is about the timeline and the release phases. The first phase being developer preview in November, December 2024. And there are, I think, 2 beta releases, one in January and the next one in February. And in the last stage, which is about March and April, and platform stability, and at the end, final release. Let's take a quick look at the program overview, how it looks. As I said, in November and December, there have been developer preview 1, developer preview 2, just the early baseline build, focus on developer feedback and incremental updates. And in January, which is the beta 1, initial beta quality release, OTA update to the adapters who enroll in Android beta. I think some of the Pixel devices can roll into this beta 1, and for us developers, we can just install an emulator and set up the device and run Android 16 for the development. And in February, there's a beta 2 incremental beta quality release, not a major changes, I assume so. And platform stability in March, April and May, which is beta 3 and beta 4, and at the end the final release. That's the timeline for Android 16. So let's take a look at the changes. There are 2 different parts about changes and new features. First, take a look at the behavior changes. Within the behavior changes, there are 2 buttons here. You can take a look at the changes for all the apps and changes for targeting only Android 16. First, take a look at the all app to see what is included. In the core functionality, there are some optimization for job scheduler. Based on different factors, there is a change for broadcast receiver, and specifically in this case, it says ordered broadcast priority scope no longer global, and you should set the priority of a broadcast receiver either by manifest or within a function in intent filter. In this case, it said your app might be impacted if it does either of the following cases. Your application has declared multiple processes with the same broadcast intent and has expectation around receiving those intents in a certain order based on the priority. The second one is your application process interact with other processes and has expectation around receiving a broadcast intent in a certain order. So if you think you are having such implementation with different processes, you have to be careful about their scope and their priority and so on. The next change is about art internal changes. Android 16 include the latest update to the Android runtime that improve the Android runtime's performance and provide support for additional Java feature. Through Google Play system updates, these improvements are also available for over 1 billion devices running on Android 12 or higher. There are also some changes for user experience and system UI. In this case, there mentioned some changes for the accessibility and support for 3-button navigation. There's something called predictive back support. If you long press the back button, it shows you the screen you're going to navigate back into. And there are some implementation changes. You need to be aware of that. I think it's quite important to migrate to these new back navigation system. I will put a link in the description, and then you can see how is the migration of, or maybe you already done the migration and you have to, if I'm not mistaken, you need to use these back event dispatcher or something like that, and to be able to make use of these back button navigations. They will make some breaking changes soon, and you should be aware of that. And let's get back to the main screen and see the behavior changes. App targeting Android 16. If your app target Android 16, if I think 36 target SDK version, you need to be aware of these changes. The first thing I just said is migration or opting out required for predictive back. For app targeting Android 16 or higher and running on an Android 16 or higher device, the predictive back button animation, back to home, cross task or cross activity are enabled by default. Additionally, Additionally, onBack press is not called, and key event.keyCodeBack is not dispatched anymore, and onBack press, somewhere I heard it is deprecated. If your app intercepts the back event and you haven't migrated to Predictive back yet, update your app to use support back navigation API, or temporarily opt out for setting the disenable onBack invoke callback to false in your application or activity tag in the manifest file. There's another user interface change, is I think more for the foldable devices, and they want to make the application resizable with different ratios, and here they mentioned there's some breaking changes and you have to be aware of those. And for the adaptive layout with Android apps now running on the variety of devices and Windows model or on large screens, developers should build Android apps that adapt to any screen and window sizes, regardless of device orientation. And paradigms like restricting orientation and resizability are too restrictive in today's multi-device world. Some of us still disable the screen orientation, but with these changes, I think it's not the case anymore, and we have to develop our application to support different sizes. But I think they have some kind of support, some kind of layout to not the job so difficult for us to going toward this way. And here they mentioned Android is moving toward these kind of models. We as a developer should be aware to develop the application and the layout in this way to be more adaptive. There are some common breaking changes. It said ignoring orientation, resizability, and aspect ratio restriction might impact your app's UI on some devices, especially elements that were designed for small layout locked in portrait orientation. For example, issues like sketch layout and off-screen animation and component. Any assumption about aspect ratio or orientation could cause visual issue for your application. Learn more about how to avoid them and improve your app's adaptive behavior. I will put this link into the description. You can take a look later. I also can offer you to develop an app to be adaptive in the way Android is recommending it. If you want me to implement this app as an example to see how is an adaptive app based on these UI changes, let me know in the comment section. Then I'll create a video and the project and put it in the GitHub to help you out about these changes as well. And about the common breaking changes and implementation details, they just said some of the attributes we can use in the manifest file, like a screen orientation, resizable activity, and so on. And there is an opt-out option for this adaptive layout. To opt out a specific activity, declare this name on the manifest property. For a short period of time, you'll be safe to not just following this if you are in a short amount of time, but in the long term you need to adjust your application based on these changes. Okay, in the new feature screen, we are first seeing some core functionality. Let me see what are those. Let's proceed with the user experience and system UI. Progress-centric notifications, which I said earlier, live notification. This is a new feature to update the user about an ongoing activity. This feature is quite helpful for the user experience to know the latest update about the activities happening. For example, there's a delivery application, you want to see where is the courier and when they want to deliver what you need to be delivered. And yeah, just here they said Android 16 introduced progress-centric notifications to help user seamlessly track user-initiated start-to-end journeys. Notification.progress style is a new notification style that let you create progress-centric notification. Key use case include rideshare, delivery, and navigations. If you have an iOS phone, you may seen such user experience, and it's pretty useful and I quite like that. That's why I'm going to take a look a bit more deeper into this feature and also implement implementing it to see how it look in the real world and if it's something difficult to know about the code or not. It said within the notification.progress style class, you can denote states and milestone in a user journey using point and segment. I will talk about that more later in the code, and there is a specific documentation about the progress-centric notifications, about the best practices, what use case is better to use, and you can read more about that on those screens. And we talk about these predictive back updates, and you need to just make sure to migrate to these new back system behavior. And they said about richer haptic. If your application use vibration, you can take a look at these changes to make the user experience better. What else about the performance and battery? There are some improvement about the job scheduler. They did some improvement to improve the battery life. Adaptive refresh rates introduced in Android 15 enables the display refresh rate on supported hardware to adapt the content frame rate using discrete vsync steps. This reduces power consumption while eliminating need for potentially jank introducing model switching. And there are some changes for the accessibility, and they added some like content description to the view group to not ignoring the content description of their child. Yeah, if you are interested, you can take a look deeper into these changes. And some other change about the camera and the night mode. And there was an adverb, they were saying Instagram is using these night mode feature for the Instagram application, which made the pictures much better than before. And if you have a camera application, you can make use of these new changes to support night mode. And about the connectivity, I don't think these are so important. There's a class introduced, it's called ranging meter. You can use if you want to find the distance of your device to a remote device. For the media, there are some improvement for the advanced professional videos recording. There are some formats very close to raw format to be able to have a professional post editing for the video. And if you're having like a camera or video editing Android app, you can take a look at these changes. And some other changes for privacy. Health Connect update, there are some new flag. You can take a look a bit more in detail just shortly. Health Connect in the developer preview adds activity intensity, a new data type defined according to the World Health Organization guidelines. You can take a look if your application is related to this one. And there's one interesting feature which is under Internationalization category, which is vertical text for some languages like Japanese, which is like normal to write it vertically. And in Jetpack Compose, you can set a flag to the paint class and have your text vertically. And there's a note here, they said this capability is not available to high-level classes like text, button, or such high-level components, but still it's nice to have them in our canvas and paint class. Yep, that was it about the new changes. Okay, I think I covered all of the changes for Android 16. Now I want to jump into Android Studio and implement live notification for an online taxi application like Uber to see how it look like in real world. So stay tuned. So I'm in Android Studio and I want to implement a live notification for an application. For the application, first I want to implement the main screen with Jetpack Compose to have with some mock data to just implement some UI to see our app looks nice, and implement the live notification with a service class. Before getting into UI implementation, I need to make sure the target SDK and compile SDK are set to 35, which is correct. And the next thing I'm going to set is setting the compile SDK preview to Baklava. Let's go into the main activity class and implement the fake UI design I was thinking about it. Okay, this is what I end up implementing in an online taxi application. It's a mock application just for showcasing. The main thing is still left, and that's the live notification, which I'm going to implement it in a second. But before that, let me walk you through the code, what I have done so far. I had a scaffold layout and I defined a toolbar for that and implemented the main content. It's called taxi waiting screen, and there's a random ETA, which is a mock ETA, and passing it to the ETA card. There's a driver info card. It shows the picture of driver and name, what car is that, and license plate. The other card is the ETA. It's just show the time is left to driver to arrive, and just a random component for showing the map, and a cancel ride button. That's all I implemented so far, but these are not very important. The main things start now, which is implementing the live notification. What I'm going to do is implementing a service class which is run in background. With this service class, I'm going to simulate a situation, driver approaching to the original point, and it's just like a 1 minute countdown, and we want to see the ongoing activity and the times left and the progress on the live notification on the screen. Let's go back to the code and implement the service class and the notification class as well, which we want to implement the live notification. Okay, stay tuned. I implemented the main activity and all the Jetpack Compose component and hold the screen, then created a service class to simulate the progress and the ongoing activity with the help of coroutine and a flow. This is the flow function I have here. I'm just simulating the situation to elapse a bit of time for about 30 seconds. Yes, yeah, updating the progress and title and subtitle as well, and I'm passing a progress state here. What is left is passing this progress state to the notification. I created a notification helper class. The first function is just creating a notification channel. It's typical, it's not part of our main task we are looking for, and same for notification. It's a typical notification I'm creating with the builder functions. What is new here is applying the progress style. I created an extension function for notification.builder. Within this function, I'm going to apply the live notification style, which is new to Android 16. So I put it to do here, but I wanted to look back again and look at the detail of this new feature to see how we should implement this live notification. So here's a link to learn more, see the progress centric notification, and I'm going to walk through to this page. Notification.progress style is a new notification style that let you create progress centric notifications. So in this page, we see how these notification style look like. As you can see in this screenshot, it has a progress, has an action button, and a subtitle and text, the times left, all we need for a live notification. Take a look at a little bit more at the technical part. It's the following classes contain different APIs that you use to construct a progress style notification. A progress style, a point, and a segment. The autonomy and customization. The following image show the different parts that make up progress style notification. So as I said, here we have an action button. These are all clear to us, and the new and more important things at the moment is the F part, which is a progress bar. That's something it look like this. It has segment and points based on those classes. If you want to have either of these two styles, for the icon, the preferred size is 20 dp, and if you want to show like a vehicle, the width is 40 dp and the height is 20 dp. Apps can set a vehicle image for the tracker icon and use segment and point to denote the ride-share experience and milestones. There are some best practices. Use the right visual element to guide the user in their journey. For example, ride-share app should set a vehicle image and most accurate color for the vehicle being used in a ride experience using notification.setLarge icon. I'm not sure if you've seen in the Uber app, there are some kind of premium rides. They have like a black color. The regular ones has a white color. You can set those as you need. Use concise and clear language to define the progress of that user journey. Time of arrival, driver name, and the state of journey are critical texts that should be communicated in the notification. Provide useful and relevant action in the notification that will help streamline the user journey. For example, providing a tip or adding an additional dish to a newly initiated order for food delivery or actionable item prior to its delivery. Like in this example, they put a action button like exit navigation. And these are like a nice to have UI element you can add to your live notification. And the next is use segment and points to denote state. For example, use segment to colorize a state and duration of traffic in a share ride journey, and use point for state for milestone. Food preparation, delivery, and passenger pickup. Update the progress experience frequently and accurately to match the actual progression of the journey. For example, traffic condition that change can be reflected in changes in segment color and updates in text. The following code snippets show progress style notification could be used for a rideshare context. This is a snippet code. As an example, we can take a look to see how it can be used. From the notification.progress style class, we initiate a new instance and call any of these functions. In this case, we have set style by progress, it's set to false. Set progress, that's the horizontal progress bar, we can pass the number. Set progress tracker icon, the vehicle they showed in this screenshot, we can set an icon for that, and we can set the segment by passing a list of segment. I think those numbers are at the point of progress, and setting the color. Here in this case, they have different segments set to progress segment. Similar to points, pass an integer and a color to declare the points for these progress style. Let's get back to the code and implement something like this to see how it look like in the app when we run the applications. So here I checked first the SDK version and then I'm going to create a progress style. After creating the progress style, I just need to set this style to the notification builder. That's all we needed to do. And now let's get back to the service class and use the notification instances here. Here in the onStart command, I initiated a notification manager, and then I created notification channel, and the next thing is set the service as a foreground, as we want to bound our notification to the service class. So I pass some initial data to this notification, and then within these collect function, I will update the notification based on the progress. Within the collect function, I pass the real-time data such as title, subtitle, and progress. And let's go back to this function to have another look. Set the title based on the progress. If it's less than 100, we say driver found, or a bit later on the way, and at the end almost there. And we update all these title and subtitle based on the progress, and add the progress as well to pass it to the notification style. One thing is left is just starting this service. I'm going to just start this service within the onCreate function. That's it. I think everything's done so far, and let's look at the result to see the live notification on emulator. Let's run the application. Hope there is no issue with that. I had to grant notification permission. I did it manually from the setting, as you see here, and let me run the application again. App is running and we are waiting for the notifications. Not yet. Okay, now you see the notification is appeared, and that's the progress we are seeing. And these lines, the black one, the yellow, and the last one are the segment, and these dots are the point, and we see the progress and the vehicle, and the text are updating. Let's run it again. Okay, the app is run and we see the notification, and if we close it from here, and we can see it in the notification bar. That's what we wanted to see in Android 16. And this feature, I think, is quite handy if you having a delivery application or such. You can make use of this feature, which is very user friendly, and user can see the ongoing activity. And yep, that's what I was going to show you in this video. I will put the Android documentation links related to these changes in the video description. You can take a look, and also I will publish this piece of code on GitHub. You can take a look at this example and you may find it useful. If you like this video, hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed to the Otago channel. In the Otago channel, I post videos all related to Android, Kotlin, in general software engineering, or interview with software developer to gain some knowledge from them. I think you will find some useful information in the channel. See you till next video. Bye.